Marco Bezzecchi manages to stay close and and there's a rider who crashed and his bike is thrown very hard.
Previously appeared so strong in the hunt for the top 3 positions.
Posed by Maman Jemping. After several laps of constant pressure, Marquez began to increase his pace and showed that he wasn't ready to give up the position easily.
We're back again for Saturday's long-awaited sprint race. Riders will run a fewer number of laps, but they'll have to give it their best shot from the very start. This is the moment for full concentration, when eyes are fixed on the first turn and the riders are going over the circuit in their minds. Everything is ready for the start. Marc Marquez, starting from pole position, is the big favourite. Just a few moments more until the lights go out and the riders will start from the grid.
The green flag is waving behind us, the lights are out and we're racing in a sprint here in Qatar. A very good start from pole position by Marc Marquez with the number 93 bike. He's going to get the whole shot. Marco Bezzecchi, aggressive, tries to get aggressive on the inside of Marc Marquez from the duo Aprilia, and now a serious threat to Marc Marquez at the front. Marco Bezzecchi and Jorge Martin are forming a double pressure that makes Marquez feel unsafe. Both Aprilia riders are showing very competitive pace. Bezzecchi is closely following Marquez, while Jorge Martin is ready to capitalize on any mistake that occurs between P1 and P2. This situation makes Marquez have to defend from 2 directions at once.
Maman Jemping, who had always been slow to warm up, began to show extraordinary performance step by step. He managed to overtake the riders ahead of him, seizing every opportunity with composure and careful calculation. From corner to corner, his position steadily climbed, proving that
Jorge Martin is now getting closer to Marc Marquez in the front row. The distance between the two is almost invisible, showing how much pressure Martin is putting on the race leader. And now it seems like everything is just waiting. And yes, Jorge Martin is now leading the race, Aprilia against Ducati. Marc Marquez appears to be under immense pressure from the Aprilia duo, who are constantly looming over him. Marco Bezzecchi manages to stay close and there's a rider who crashed and his bike is thrown very hard. Yes, the replay shows how hard the contact was at the first corner. Bezzecchi was hit by Marc Marquez from the left side and immediately lost control. The Italian rider was lying on the side of the track. His motorbike bounced hard, slid wildly against the outside of the track. This very controversial and dramatic incident made Aprilia certain to fail to bring its 2 riders to the podium.
Yes, and Bezzecchi, who had previously appeared so strong in the hunt for the top 3 positions, now had to end his struggle tragically. Meanwhile, Marquez still continued the race.
Maman Jemping began to show his class. After slowly making his way from the back of the pack, the rider nicknamed EL Jemping now managed to position himself directly behind Marc Marquez. The speed he had been hiding since the start of the race was now being displayed to his rivals. Lap after lap, Maman Jemping continues to close the gap. His increasingly stable bike allows him to follow Marquez's every line closely, and yes, Marquez is being outmaneuvered by Maman Jemping. But Marc Marquez wasn't going to sit still. The Spanish rider was well aware of the threat posed by Maman Jemping. After several laps of constant pressure, Marquez began to increase his pace and showed that he wasn't ready to give up the position easily. And yes, Maman Jemping easily overtake Marc Marquez again, as if to send a message to Marquez that El Cerrudo wouldn't work against El Jemping. Jorge Martin was dominant and comfortably leading the race. The Spanish rider managed to build a comfortable lead. Martin looked completely at ease in control of his bike, hosting consistent lap after lap without exerting himself, while the riders behind were busy engaging in fierce duels and pushing each other for position. Martin took advantage of the situation to further distance himself, and behind, a small mistake proved costly for AI Ogura. The Japanese rider braked slightly late and went wide of his ideal racing line. Even the smallest opportunity is valuable at this level, and Maman Jemping immediately capitalized on this mistake. Jemping darted down the inside and overtook Ogura with relative ease. A clean and effective maneuver from Maman Jemping Hans. Entering the final sector, Maman Jemping continues to follow Jorge Martin, while Martin begins to feel immense pressure from the rider, who has been showing increasing speed since the start of the race. Now they enter the final sector. Maman, with much better corner entry and incredible acceleration, raced to the finish line in a thrilling duel. Maman Jemping managed to outsprint Jorge Martin in the final sector. A masterful maneuver by Maman Jemping and incredible courage in the deciding lap, from constantly chasing the leader to finally making a final attack in the final sector.
The checkered flag flew and Maman Jemping became the fastest rider in the Qatar sprint. The thrill of a hard-fought victory, while Jorge Martin had to be content with seeing the victory he had been looking for snatched right at the end of the race. And Jorge Martin had to be satisfied with second place, Ogura third, Marc Marquez fourth, Acosta fifth, Di Gianantonio sixth. Bastianini 7th, Viñales 8th, Luca Marini 9th and Raul Fernandez 10th.
As the riders perform their final laps, let's take a look at the final ranking of the race, which has just finished. It was a great sprint, and everything's in place to celebrate the riders on the podium in front of a packed grandstand.